How do beautiful lords, ladies of the nerdom, Manny Roman with me as always, the man with golden locks, Brandon May.
Hey.
And
I'm excited.
And everyone's favorite Pokemon master, Adam Kovac.
Hey everybody.
Gosh. Honestly, Manny knows how to just put a big smile on Adam's face.
I've been
Pokemon master.
I've been trying so hard to find the thing for Adam, because I've always had Brandon's thing. Literally since we've been doing this for 3 years. Brandon's always had his accolade to go along with him. And I've just been trying to find the right thing for Adam, and we found it.
That was perfect.
That was good.
I want to talk to my girlfriend later today. I'm like, my friends call me Pokemon Master. Why don't you?
I wanted to bring that up, that Adam was gonna go to his girlfriend like, can you call me Pokemon Master?
Yep. This is the dream now.
Love it.
All right. So welcome to our second episode of This Week in Gaming for November 22nd of 2020. Kick things off, just a couple bits of housekeeping. First thing, we have 2 new Spreadshirt sales to announce with Black Friday coming up. The first being our Black Friday sale is a one-day only sale, but it is the best sale we've had on our merch yet. 25% off all orders on Black Friday. We also have something going on for Cyber Monday. Free standard shipping on all orders. So be on the lookout for both of those coming this week. To take advantage of both those offers, just go to shop.spreadshirt.com/the Nerd Chambers. Or you can just go to thenerdchambers.com. Right on the taskbar at the top says shop. Click on that bad boy, and it takes you right where you need to be. We still got a couple Twitch follower giveaways going on. Brandon, if you want to remind the people what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. I have my Yu-Gi-Oh! Phantom Rage booster box at 100 followers for twitch.tnc Penguin. That is going to be a sealed Phantom Rage booster box. And then, of course, we also have a follower giveaway for 250 followers on twitch.tv/the Nerd Chambers, and that is a $100 PSN gift card. Manny is just so generous.
That was lit. They're both lit giveaways.
Yeah, honestly, both big value. Mine, I had a bunch of PlayStation gift cards because I had to go all digital for the PS5. And I was just like, I don't need this extra one, really.
Fair.
So I figured I would do something productive with it. And I want to give it to you guys. So be sure to follow us on our Twitch channel. Before we get into the news, I just first want to say thank you to everybody who tuned into our first episode. This Week in Gaming was actually the biggest first week we've had for a podcast episode, I think, in probably a year at least. So thank you to everybody. Be sure to let us know what you guys think of the show. Tweet at us. Just put something in the comments on our Facebook posts, anything like that. Keep the feedback coming. We really appreciate it. To kick things off for This Week in Gaming, we have a bit of news regarding some streaming services in PlayStation. So Sony Interactive Entertainment's CEO Jim Ryan spoke to Russian news outlet TASS, TASS, about all things PS5. When asked if PlayStation has an answer to the popular Xbox Game Pass, Ryan states, there is actually news to come, but just not today. Meaning we may see some changes to the current PS Now service, or potentially a rebranded and revamped streaming platform for PlayStation.
I'm honestly so excited about this, just having my fingers crossed, hoping that they're going to somehow bring this to PC, because the Game Pass came to PC. I know it won't. Sony is super console, but please, that'd be insane.
Do you imagine?
So
I'm so happy.
I will say PS Now is on PC.
Oh, I was going to say, I remember it like, I thought it was, but I thought they took it off for some reason. But
It is
Isn't
on
it very
PC.
limited though?
for the PC
Um,
Hall of it.
it isn't. So stream the
Really?
entire PS Now game collection to your Windows PC. More than 800 games on
Wow.
demand directly from PlayStation's website.
I do
So
see
Look
that.
at
Okay.
that. Mr. Xbox isn't even exclusive, really. Neither is PlayStation.
I was keeping that one
Under
secret
wraps.
from you guys. Yeah, exactly.
Shame the
I had-
story came to fortune.
I shot myself in the foot with this one. But yeah, when I read that, I was kind of excited, but at the same time, I'm like, if I'm being honest, there isn't much they can do to make PS Now better outside of adding exclusives when they launch to a platform. That's really the only big change they can make. They have the library. They have an insane big library of games all the way back from the PS2 to now. So I feel like that's probably what they're going to be announcing, would be my guess. Unless they're going to announce another price cut, which would be absurd because they already matched Game Pass's $10 a month.
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't know what else they can do besides being like, hey, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Bugsnax, all these PS5 launch titles, they're on PS Now. And from here on out, all of our exclusives are day one on PS Now. Like, that's really all they can do to match Game Pass at this point, outside of, marketing it in people's faces like they do with Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because that's honestly the one thing that's been lacking for them is that they haven't put an emphasis on it. Xbox comes to their conferences and they're like, here's this really cool exclusive game for us. And by the way, you can play it day one on Xbox Game Pass. Like, that's the only thing they're missing, really. So, I hope that's what they're announcing. I'm curious if there's going to be anything else to it. If, with the inclusion of Insomniac, are we going to see the entire Insomniac library? Like Resistance?
It would be really nice to see. I agree. There has to be something that they're going to give us a little extra if they're going to have any sort of announcement. And even if it's not just day one, if it's maybe after the first weekend or after a week that you get to finally have the full releases on there quicker, would be really freaking awesome. It would definitely help for content for myself. There are some games I want to try. I've been watching some Bugsnax. Game's kind of cool. Not gonna lie.
Every review I've seen has been like comparing it to like Pokemon, but goofy.
Yeah. So it would definitely help out a lot, I think, for the potential PC audience. I mean, at that point, what are you really missing out on? I mean, more people will pay to get your service. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but the people that are on PC are not going to just go buy a PlayStation because one game came out that they're really interested in. However, that person on PC will subscribe to your service for 1, 2, 3 months, a year because that game's on PC now. You're just going to make money. So I really hope that is the case. This is super exciting and fantastic news. So please, just blow us out of the water. I'm so excited.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm curious with the announcement of the Game Awards nominees and the Game Awards coming in a couple weeks, if that's going to be their platform for it too. Because the Game Awards has never been short of huge reveals and huge announcements. And something like that, I feel like, would catch a lot of people's attention because the live viewership of the Game Awards is insane. I think it was close to, if not more than 1 million people was the peak concurrent viewership. So that would be a heck of a platform to announce something like that. So I'm my semi prediction and hopes and dreams are that it's going to be announced at the Game Awards, and this isn't something that's just going to be kind of in their back pocket for a little bit.
It would make sense. Definitely would.
So our next story comes from Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. They finally announced the release date for their first post-launch DLC for Marvel's Avengers, Kate Bishop Taking Aim. will be made available on all platforms on December 8th. Is it after they announced, like, there was metrics that came out saying that game has like 1,000 concurrent players? I'll ask you guys. I'll ask it to you guys in this way: is Marvel's Avengers going to have a No Man's Sky type resurrection in terms of playership, or is it going to be taking the Anthem route, where it's a game as a service that never took off and just kind of fade away?
I hope it's Anthem. I think any game that leaves a bad... if you can't be good at launch, I find that games will make it. You know, we saw No Man's Sky do well. We've seen Fallout really grow over the last few years. But I mean, we talked about it before. The gamers in the industry, not a lot of us are really patient when it comes to... Because not only did we wait a year, 2, 3, 5 years from the announcement of a game, and then possible delays, pushbacks, beta tests, beta fails, and now your game comes out and sucks, and now we have to wait for you to fix it. Just make the game at least fun, enjoyable. I'm not looking for the next Game Awards Game of the Year. Give me a game that's enjoyable at least. But every single person I've talked to, watched reviews, seen anything about this game, it just sucks. You played it once, I think.
I did. I've played through the story. I got a few hours into it and just never went back to it.
Because it just doesn't pull you in.
That's kind of fair. I appreciate the direction they took in making the lead protagonist Kamala Khan, and making it a very human story in that sense. But I think having the story center around her may have not been the best decision, because at the end of the day, the audience for this game, they want to just play the main heroes. They want to play the Iron Man, the Thors, the Hulk, and all that. So I think that was a little bit of a misstep. But I mean, you still play those characters in the story. It's not like you'd never get to play them. But I feel like the story just didn't really hit for a lot of people. And then your multiplayer not having progression, like the progression system was kind of goofy with the multiplayer, was kind of the big thing. Was also another misstep, but the amount of content was there for the most part. But I also think limiting certain game or mission types to certain days of the week and things like that was kind of a little too much. All in all, I don't know. To answer my own question, I'm not sure which route Marvel's Avengers is going to take. I don't know if it has the amount of content for multiplayer to really last. And it's kind of a shame, honestly. Like, Crystal Dynamics is a heck of a studio. They've made great games. The Tomb Raider reboot franchise is fantastic. But I don't know. I just don't see myself wanting to play Avengers long term, because it just feels like this DLC is going to be like, a few missions, and it'll be cool to kind of incorporate new characters. But
can we also just talk about real quick the fact that wasn't Clinton Barton Hawkeye going to be the first DLC? And for what I'm looking up and seeing right now, they're going to be adding Kate Bishop, who's also Hawkeye. They're going to be adding the first two DLC characters are going to be Hawkeye and then another version of Hawkeye. That's for everyone I'm seeing. Don't get me wrong. It could be that when they announced Hawkeye the first point, it was actually Kate Bishop, but I'm seeing a lot of different art and stuff for the actual version of Clinton Barton for the Avengers game as well. And I saw a photo of it on their website.
So in the Avenger War tables that they were releasing every month or so for a few months before launch, they teased that the first DLC is going to be about Hawkeye. And they did show that it was going to be that Clint Barton was going to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But they didn't really explain what it actually was going, like what the premise of it was actually going to be. The next war table came around, and then they rounded it out again with announcing that Kate Bishop is going to be coming to the game, and she's going to be the kind of main protagonist of the DLC involving Hawkeye. So they did make that very clear.
Okay.
I think that the first tease was a little misleading because somebody who watched every War Table, I thought it was a little misleading. I thought it was going to be Clint Barton was going to be the main focus of it, but it's actually you play as Kate Bishop, who's trying to locate and, I guess, rescue Clint Barton is kind of the premise of it.
Okay. Yeah, because I just watched the Hawkeye teaser trailer, the minute drop that they had, and it's literally just Clint Barton kicking ass. So doesn't make really a whole lot of sense. If that's what they're doing, fine. But I swear, if it's just, hey, we're bringing out 2 DLC characters, we're bringing out Hawkeye and Hawkeye. Like, it's like saying, hey, we're going to bring out Spider-Man, but we're just going to give you Miles Morales and then Peter Parker. Yeah, sure, they are different characters. They have different attributes and character design and background story, fine. But it's just so lazy because we know it was probably a copy and paste, and then we got to tweak some stuff. So
I think the reason both were implemented was a representation thing more than anything. Which is a good thing. I'm not saying that it's not a good thing. I appreciate that they're doing that actually.
Okay.
But I can see your perspective on it. But I think this was to kind of show the representation of other characters in the Marvel universe, because that's another thing that they mentioned is that they're deep diving through Marvel lore to bring all these characters to life. So I think bringing in both Hawkeyes is kind of a cool thing. I just don't think that there's going to be enough content there to keep the game's long-term lifespan there. Because a lot of people that played the game, there's a lot of people that enjoyed the game. They're already done with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this DLC is going to have enough to it to bring people back for a long time. And as a game as a service, you should have a player base that's healthy and has content for as long as you plan on supporting the game. It's not like, it shouldn't be one of those things where you bring out a DLC every couple months and it brings, a lot of your player base back for like a week and then they're gone until you bring something else out. I think that's where this game is lacking. And it's just another one of those games that tried to take what Destiny has done. And honestly, like seeing games like Avengers, Anthem just makes you appreciate what Bungie's done with Destiny even more, because they were able to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way to look at it.
So, next story. There was a reported data breach at Capcom, which led to several potential leaks as to what is being worked on by the publisher. According to these leaks, there is going to be a sequel to the 2012 fantasy RPG Dragon's Dogma, as well as the next game in the Street Fighter franchise.
I don't know. I kind of have a weird feeling about games that do sequels that long after. Because it's by the time that game comes out, it's going to be a decade from when the last one came out. I love Borderlands, I really do, and it just kind of felt weird. It still is a good game. It just waiting so long, you kind of forgot about it for a bit, got excited, and then you had to wait for it to actually come out. Because I'm sure this game's not coming out anytime soon, like the next 6 months probably. So, the fans of this series are like, oh my goodness, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, again, we of course don't know. But if this game's coming out in 2 years or something like that, you're going to have the hype now, but when the game finally comes out, you're going to kind of lose all that initial hype you had. And I get it, it was a data breach. It's not like they really wanted this to come out. So, I don't know. It's just... I don't know. I guess the thing that just bugs me is the having to go back to something else that worked before, and now you're trying to relive and try to latch onto the previous success. Again, games do deserve sequels. Games, maybe didn't finish the way they wanted to, but if that's the case, why did it take you a decade to have this game come out?
Yeah, my thoughts exactly on it. I mean, if you're gonna, I don't know. I get hiccups and everything. I mean, look at Cyberpunk. But That's tough, man. Like, you already have the foundations of everything you need. At least Cyberpunk was like a fresh idea. They had to design the whole, well, not even redesign, they just had to design everything. But like this, they already had like the background story and everything, and then
So I think
10 years.
so it's not a surprise to see that these are the games that are being reported in these leaks. One, because we just got the remastered Dragon's Dogma on PS4 and Xbox 2 years ago. And I think with most remasters that we have seen in the past 5 years of franchises that people really enjoyed or games that people really enjoyed, it's always pretty much every single one of them where let's just bring this back out on these new consoles, see how people are vibing it,
Yeah.
and so they can test the waters to make another, because they're planning on making another game. So it's not a huge surprise to see Dragon's Dogma. It's not a huge surprise to see Street Fighter. I'm looking at it right now. It's their third most successful franchise, Capcom, behind Monster Hunter and Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Which are two enormous franchises. So it's not a huge surprise to see both of those there. In terms of Dragon's Dogma, I think the reason the wait has been so long is that they had made an MMO for Dragon's Dogma. It only released in the East was the problem. It never came to the West. But I think that's because they felt that that's where their kind of core market and target audience was for it. And I actually, a few years back, I actually watched gameplay of it, and it looked awesome. And it was one of those things where I would have loved to have played it. It had really cool and interesting mechanics. Like they showed an example of a party fighting a big boss like out in this field, and you're able to do sort of like these combo moves of, if you're like a melee person, like climbing up on the monster and like doing these different attacks to it and things like that, like things you haven't really seen done in an MMO.
Yeah.
And it was really well received. I looked into it. It had over 1 million downloads on between PS3, PS4, and PC in the East, and I found out the servers were closed about a year ago. So it sounds like they were working on that, and now they're kind of pivoting back to working on the next game in the franchise. I'm very intrigued by it. I've told you guys, and I was talking to somebody else the other day, like Dragon's Dogma, on my list of RPGs that I need to play and want to play at some point, it's at the top of my list because I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah, which, I mean, again, for the community itself who enjoys the game, it's going to be awesome when it does come out. They will find a following. I'm sure it'll sell well. I guess it just kind of bothers me that, again, this is hindsight, that the game came out in 2012. They had the remastered, as you said, probably about 2, maybe 3 years ago. It would have been so much better to come out with that remaster in about 2015, in the kind of middle-ish of the PS4 era. And then when the PS5 drops, could you imagine if like Dragon's Dogma was like coming out in the first 6 months, a year, or even like a launch title for the new systems? You would just destroy possibly. I guess that's what kind of upsets me. But again, I get it because they have so many other games they're working on. They can't just put all their focus on one. So I understand it's kind of just a hindsight of knowing that the new system was coming out, and it would have been great to be able to plan around that. But again, hopefully it does well.
So, next we have a couple sets, or actually, sorry, we have 2 different sets of delays we're going to talk about. One's going to come a little bit later. This first one, indie game publisher Annapurna Interactive announced that because of the ongoing pandemic, they are going to be seeing delays on 3 of their games that are being worked on. The Artful Escape, Last Stop, and 12 Minutes will be delayed until 2021. So I haven't seen too much about the Artful Escape or the Last Stop myself, but 12 Minutes is a game that we've seen at a couple different showcases now, and we saw at the PC Gaming Digital event, and it's one of those games that it seems like it's going to be a really cool experience. For those of you that haven't looked into it before, essentially you're playing through a scenario that takes place in 12 minutes where you're a guy having dinner with his wife at their apartment, and somebody tries breaking into your apartment, or breaks into your apartment, I should say. And it just kind of, the story branches from there, and it's all like the narrative gets driven in different ways based on your decisions. But it looks really cool. It's actually being voice acted by some fantastic talent. So personally, it's tough to see it get delayed, but the way the world is, I get it.
I honestly, when you first put it in our story list today, I completely forgot what that game was. And then when you mentioned it, I remember loving everything. We were kind of just a little hints and getting notes of the game that we were seeing. Very cool concept. It's definitely something I want to pick up, maybe day one, because it's going to be such a unique experience. I feel kind of that Groundhog Day, not really Groundhog Day, but the constant just reliving of a scene. So I guess in a sense, but definitely sucks to see the games get pushed back, especially for smaller companies, because I mean, I get it. They don't have the same firepower as some of these other companies will be able to have to move resources to different projects.
So I'm gonna send this over to Brandon for the next couple stories. This first one we I feel like we have some things to say about it.
Yeah.
But
all right. Epic Games Store has announced 2 new free games made available to everyone. Head over to the Epic's Game Store to get Space Sandbox Elite Dangerous turn-based RPG visual novel The World Next Door simply by redeeming them on the main page. Act fast, they're only available until Thursday, Thanksgiving. I've downloaded both of these already. I was kind of intrigued with The World Next Door. It was kind of the art style that was kind of pulling me in.
Yeah.
So I'll probably do a little stream of that maybe tonight. I don't know, depending if I got time. I did, however, stream some Elite Dangerous, about an hour and a half, and that's all I could do until I almost puked all over my desk. The last time I got that motion sickness was on a roller coaster called Fireball, and I puked on that roller coaster. I have a really rough time. Yeah, I have a really rough time when it comes to motion sickness, and it's something about the controls in the game that it just doesn't make sense to my brain. I just don't know what's up, don't know what's down, and the mouse is what lets you turn and rotate, which is just super awkward, because then you also have to move the ship with WASD, and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're trying to move your ship. I only played about an hour and a half of the game, did the tutorial, and then tried to go on to some other like ships and stuff. The thing that does kind of upset me is something No Man's Sky did really well, is when you dock into a spaceship, you get to actually leave your ship, walk around, but it just takes you into a menu, and you get to look at the shops and stuff like that from the menu, different contacts. It's beautiful. It's a really pretty game. It's a really great idea, but I will probably never be able to play this again because I'm going to upchuck everywhere.
I'm glad you said upchuck. Not many people use that phrasing for it. Yeah. So I respect that. I'm just going to be kind of brief on it because obviously I didn't play it. And then Manny, I'll let you get into it because I know you played it as well. But just like from watching Brandon play it, honestly, I was about ready to pass out. Not because, motion sickness. That game just looks boring.
It was. It was boring.
That did not look fun. I mean, like, I get watching games, obviously, is typically less fun than playing it, but wow. I wouldn't even have made it through the tutorial. I would have been like, I would have loaded in the game and be like, this was a mistake.
I didn't make it through the tutorial to make it better because it crashed on me. It broke. I was
gonna say, let's hear your experience.
Literally, so I didn't even get to finish the tutorial because the game crashed. I'm just like, that's okay. The control scheme is I've never felt a more wonky control scheme. So like Brandon was saying, you have to like roll with your mouse, which is very sensitive, by the way. I literally there were times where I'm just gonna have my hand here because if I touch my mouse, I'm gonna start spinning in all directions that I don't mean to. So that just feels kind of wonky. I feel like this game would definitely play better on a controller. because of that, with the two thumbsticks, I feel like it might just work better. But man, that just felt really, really awkward on a mouse and keyboard. It really did. But and then when I was doing, so there's like 3 phases to the tutorial essentially, and one of them's a combat simulator type thing. And I was doing the combat training, and you take on 3 enemies. The last one actually like fights back, and it's the ships have shields, so I'd be blasting at this thing. Which, by the way, the shooting mechanics not great. It feels awkward. It says it auto targets, but it really doesn't, and you miss most of the time. And then it gives you like a little dot, like where to lead, like aim to lead, so your shots hit the ship, but most of the time it doesn't work. I don't know. And so I get to this last enemy, and he's got shields. He's shooting back at me. Every time I would shoot, it would say like, shields are disabled. I'm like, cool, sweet. I'm almost done with this. It would like, the ship would just leave the training area because there's apparently an invisible wall saying like, hey, you can't leave the training area. Go back. And it manually overrides your ship and takes you back. And I'm like, how am I supposed to finish this? Did you run into the same thing?
Yep, I was so confused. I thought I was just messing up because I was having such a hard time flying the ship. But yeah, the combat is so weird, and then that training simulation, yeah, the ship just kept leaving the area, and I don't know if you watched the whole thing, but that part took me about 25-30 minutes of my hour 15 of playing the game because it kept leaving. I couldn't get the ship targeted. I was trying to spin around. I don't understand how the game's gonna be enjoyable for anyone unless you just put in 50 to 100 hours to learn how to properly fly the ship. And I'm just, when it comes to games like that, I want to put my hand on the keyboard, controller, whatever it is, and be like, okay, this is smooth, this is nice. Like No Man's Sky. I'll be honest, didn't love the game. Flight in that game, fantastic, super smooth, easy for combat. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Did not have a great time. Didn't have a great time, especially when the game crashed on me. I was giving it a chance. I was trying really hard. I was giving it a chance. I was going to play through the tutorial and then get to the actual game and play it for a little bit. And then it crashed on me. And I was like, I don't need to go any further. That's enough for me. But if you want to give it a chance yourself, it is free on the Epic Game Store. Until Thursday.
Yeah, all right. Well, we talked about some sad stuff. Now to talk about some more sad stuff. We're talking about Among Us. The team behind Among Us has finally joined the Twitterverse and welcomed its followers with a screenshot of the new map that is developed for the game. I'm sorry, I chuckled when you told me I'm taking the next couple stories because I'm the one person in probably the entire world who hates the game Among Us, not the game itself. It's a very well made game. Developers, kudos, you did a great job. It's going to be fantastic when the new map comes out. But goodness, I have no fun playing this game anymore. And yeah, it's exciting though. I mean, it's nice to see a game like this that blew up overnight and they're going to keep giving content. Game came out in 2018 and, roughly almost 3 years later, they're still wanting to put content out there. It's exciting. I'm curious what else they'll do. They've added a lot of different settings to their game. It's just crazy to think seeing them finally join the Twitterverse though after so long.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. One of the first people to comment on that tweet was the Fall Guys Twitter.
Hell yeah, of course it was.
They're starting beef.
And it was just like welcome to Twitter with like the handshake and emoji. Okay. So I want to play Fall Guys more at some point. Maybe I just need to find people to play with to motivate me to play. Maybe.
It was fun, but I feel like it's for me at least, it's like most of those smaller type games, arcadey like, and it's fun for a while, and then it's like, okay, you have nothing left to offer me.
Yeah, and that's kind of how a lot of party games end up being. It's like, you have fun for a while, but eventually with any game, the cycle of repetition will wear off on you. Like you'll be like, okay, Do I want to just play Among Us on poll list for the 1000th time? Nah.
No.
Like, like eventually that kind of the your blinders kind of wear off, and you're like, okay, this is like I've done this enough times. I can move on.
I also do feel like arcade party games just is not our wheelhouses. Adam and myself very into competitive ranked based games. You also
We've
enjoy
talked
those
about your
games.
murder complex.
Yeah. Well, I should like Among Us then. I should like Fall Guys because I can push people off, murder people in those games.
Yeah, and you weren't really doing that in Fall Guys.
But yeah, I mean, we're really into the competitive games. You like story-based games and also competitive scene. So games like this just aren't really made for us. I don't know. I'm glad there is an audience. I'm glad these games do well. The developers do deserve every kudos penny that they've made, and it's awesome. It's just not for myself and Adam really, and I know Manny, you've kind of fallen off a little bit too.
Yeah, I do enjoy the game. It is fun. I actually do like social games like that a lot. Like the board games like Secret Hitler and things like that. I actually really enjoy. There's a game on the PlayStation VR, Werewolves Within, that was it's pretty much the same premise except it was werewolves, and each player had like basically a class that they were. They were either a villager or they could have been, a special class that had an ability to help, solve the issue. But I think Among Us just needs a little more to it because it really is just run around and just run around until you're either dead or killed everyone.
Yeah.
The social component isn't. I don't know. It's just not as prominent because there is more of the actual you're playing mini games to it. But it is a fun game. I'll probably end up checking out the new map when it drops. They said they have more information coming during the Game Awards in a couple weeks. So that'll be something to look forward to. Maybe they have more to announce. Maybe they have a little more to it coming. We'll see.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and send it back over to Manny so he can talk about his baby.
My pride and joy, brother. So CD Projekt Red had its fifth and final Night City Wire episode for Cyberpunk 2077 this past Thursday. The main emphasis of the episode was the polarizing character known as Johnny Silverhand, played by none other than Keanu Reeves. One other big announcement that they actually made to the game, to me as somebody who likes to stream games like that, they didn't have an official name for it. I'm just calling it the DMCA mode in the game. They had a nice 5-6 minute segment talking about the score and soundtrack, and they talked about how there's going to be a mode that's automatically implemented on console versions, and it can be toggled on and off on all platforms in the options that will replace songs that have the potential of getting DMCA violations for content creators. It'll replace those songs with other tracks that are made for the game. So cool. I think that's a really cool addition. That's clearly something that they probably added later in the development cycle with this extra time that they had because of all the issues that Twitch is having with DMCA.
Yeah.
So I think this is something great that's come out of the extra time that they've had for development.
Definitely a smart move on their end with everything that's going on.
Yeah, definitely agree. Just sad it's only to be apparently on consoles if that is.
No, it is for all platforms, but it's automatically turned on for consoles.
Ooh, okay.
That's pretty cool. Said.
I'm really excited. Mm-hmm. I plan on streaming this game day one, so hopefully everything works out with the whole DMCA mode, which will be pretty awesome to add.
Yeah, and they even touched on a couple of the radio stations and the music that's going to be played outside of the score. They brought in tons of different artists to come and make original tracks for the game, which I think is awesome.
That's pretty nice.
And they wrapped up the episode with a fantastic 5-minute trailer that shows off gameplay, explains the premise of the game, which we never really got before. It was always they would just explain it as you're a mercenary in Night City and you're just doing things. but now we actually know what the actual, I guess, point of the game is, and how it all starts with this 5-minute trailer. But all in all, it was a fantastic Night City Wire, and the trailer was incredible. Brandon, did you get a chance to watch it yet?
Yeah, I did. I've watched it a couple times myself, and I just I don't know why I'm kind of a little foggy on it now, but just to confirm, he is like in your head. The yeah, okay, thank you. I just want to double check, but yeah, Johnny Silverhand, he's like in your head, and he's just this murderous dude trying to like take over, control you. Yeah, so
He's like a rebel.
yeah, and it's really interesting because I think it's going to be the perfect spot to add a Keanu Reeves narration type character. Because I was thinking, where are they going to have Keanu Reeves in this game to make him in the game enough? Yeah. Which is perfect because he's like almost like a second half to your own character. So I really like that a lot.
Yeah, the developer explained or categorize him as the co-protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's really cool the way that they implemented him and how and they said this, in one of the first Night City Wires. He is one of the most integral parts of the story of the game, which I think is really cool. Adam, I know you watched the trailer before the show. What are your thoughts going into the last couple weeks before release and seeing everything that we know now about the game?
It definitely makes me want to play it a little bit more. That trailer was very well put together. Of course, obviously, it was very, informative too for anybody who hasn't been keeping up with, the mini updates and, all that stuff. Obviously, the game looks beautiful. I mean, we all knew that was going to be the case. Very colorful yet dark. So it's going to be, honestly, like normally when I play games, I play with the light on or, the window slightly open or, something like that. But this game, I honestly might want to play it in the dark because, like, I feel like I'll get more of that
immersion.
Yeah, immersion. So I don't know. It's definitely going to be fun. I always enjoyed like Grand Theft Auto type games. I mean, even Grand Theft Auto itself. I've played them all. But yeah, I definitely think I'll like this game. Will I, try and ace it like I used to do with those types of games? Probably not. I think I've leaned away from that nowadays, but I'll definitely at least get like, I'm gonna say 50 hours of gameplay in. Just I feel like that's a lot. I don't get that much hours in games anymore.
Except for League of Legos.
Yeah,
Legos. I'm super excited for this game. We're a couple weeks out from launch. It's on December 10th. For those of you that may not be aware, just looking at the whole experience of Night City Wire and the gameplay that they released, this was honestly like one of the best jobs I've seen with a game in terms of marketing the game. Avengers did a pretty good job with the roundtables coming out every month, being like, "Hey, here's some new things about the game," and things like that. But the Night City Wire just makes you not only appreciate what this game is going to be, but the intricacies of how the game is made and how much depth and detail that they put into making this game. And it's something like it's kind of like a behind the scenes that we haven't gotten for a game before it even comes out. It's really cool and unique the way that they did all of this, but it wasn't only cool to see all of that. It kept this game in people's minds this entire time, even with the delays and things like that. People have always been consuming something with Cyberpunk for the past 6 months because they constantly have Night City Wires, 5 episodes of it that have come out roughly monthly. They had the 40 some odd minutes of gameplay that came out at E3 last year. So they've been keeping this game constantly in your mind and constantly giving you a little bit more about the game without taking away from the experience that you're going to have by playing it. So I just appreciate all that they've done to market this game and build hype for it and keep hype for it, despite the delays and stuff. And I'm all in, baby. I'm stoked. Can't wait for December 10th.
Fair. The only thing I think they could have done better was pre-order bonuses. I don't know. There's nothing to it.
Which is
Even
fair.
the collector's edition is trash. I was like, really?
The collector's edition is
No, it's not even eh. Don't even give it that honor of eh. It is trash. You pretty much get stickers in a box.
Oh, you get that massive statue.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Here's why I think. I mean, until more recently, Call of Duty has always had, in my opinion, the best collector's editions ever for any game.
Yeah, it's because
they had a mini fridge. They had remote control cars, actual working night vision goggles.
that was great.
They have all kinds of super neat stuff, and you pay a lot for it, $200 plus, but that's the point of a collector's edition. But when you go and you pay, like, let's say for Cyberpunk's $150, there's no point. You're paying $90 extra, or $80 depending on what platform I guess you get it on. And you get just a box and an okay statue and some stickers? What?
So I will say one thing that they did talk about in this Night City Wire was what's going to be coming in the box for the game when it comes out. And this is for all editions of the game on all platforms. You get a digital art book, digital soundtrack, and a digital comic book. So I guess
that appeals to some people, but I don't care about that. I feel like most people
I just need tangible things. I need
yes
weapons.
And no.
I need a mini fridge.
I mean, yes and no. It's just like I feel like most people don't care about that digital stuff. I feel like most people don't even claim it. They just let it sit there.
So here, I'll help you a little more. They did announce also if you link the game to your GOG account, you get cosmetic stuff in the game as well.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. That should be something in like a $80 edition, or even just pre-ordering the regular edition.
That's for anybody who gets the game.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, you just link the game to your GOG account on whatever platform you're playing on, and you'll get digital goodies. The exact phrasing of it for the game. But it was like cosmetics and things like that for the game. Like they have a pretty cool jacket that's got the wolf emblem from The Witcher on it.
Okay.
Adam, I think you said the collector's edition was how much?
I think it's $150. Yeah,
$190, isn't it?
I'm seeing $250. I'm on the page right now to pre-order it, and
really?
it's.
I thought I saw it was cheaper, but I was looking at GameStop's.
Yeah, I'm on Best Buy right now. GameStop didn't show. No, not GameStop. One of the places didn't show the price because it was sold out, but it shows. Yeah, it shows it's the collector's edition box.
Oh yeah, it was
statue.
$250. You're right.
Okay.
So you're even paying more for crud. Here's my thing. You super hype your game up. Unfortunately, you have delays, which obviously, those delays are for the game itself, not to improve your collector's edition. But do a little bit better. Come on. $250, you get a bum ass statue.
That's a pretty good statue.
No, it's not a cool statue. He's running someone over on a motorcycle and jumping off with some pistols. I mean, I don't know, man. They could have done something. So, give us a cyberpunk-like jacket.
Whoa.
That would have been cool. Yeah, see, look at that. Brandon likes.
I guess my thing is I'm not a.
Things.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because for myself,
if I'm gonna pay all that money, I want something tangible.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Collector's editions are meant for people that, are hardcore into the game and the universe.
But how can you be hardcore into it when it's the first?
Because it's based off of a tabletop game that's been around for 30 years.
And they're doing a lame statue? I don't know, man. It was just as bad as the Borderlands collectible for the new one. All they
The
did was give
Borderlands
you a
one
3D
was
printed
Yeah.
model.
And I
Yeah.
can't believe one of you guys actually bought
We
that.
both
Both
did.
of us bought it.
Hey Brandon, how much time did you put into Borderlands 3?
Like 15 hours.
See,
Yeah.
I played
Yeah.
a lot of it, but
Yeah.
it did come with keychains, which I use and I still have for decor.
This comes with a keychain.
And-
This
no,
comes
no,
with a
and it came
keychain.
with more. It came with like a cool map, but it was
This
on
comes
like,
with the
like
map.
a cloth map, which again decor. It came with some action figures, cool decor, and then the 3D model ship, which I'm not a builder. I don't like that kind of stuff, so it's just sitting there. But I agree. Borderlands 3 did us dirty. It wasn't that great. We knew what was coming. We still got it. But like, why can't all games just be awesome and do what COD does? And just again, this was previous years of COD. COD hasn't done anything big since last game, and that was night vision goggles. I don't know why they didn't do one big this year, but I don't know. Just do
COVID.
something cool. Do a jacket. That jacket would have been cool.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Like, they have merch. Like, you could probably go buy that samurai jacket.
Yeah,
If not
but
now,
what if-
probably after the game drops.
But what if that was a pre-order bonus limited time jacket if you only get the collector's edition? That's even cooler.
Yeah, and that's my thing is, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know people enjoy this stuff, but someone who likes the tangible stuff more, get rid of all the digital content. Get rid of the hardcover art book. Just get rid of the stickers, and then put the jacket in place, and they're probably saving money. The jacket would have been so good. I agree.
Right? That would have been lit. I know that was a huge side tangent, just pooping on Cyberpunk's collector's edition, but it needed to be said.
Goodness.
Y'all are silly. All right. Adam.
Yeah. Is this
you
my
know,
punishment?
No, outside of being, our favorite Pokemon master, you're also a big fan of FPSs. So I'm going to let you take these last two.
All right, sounds good. So for our next story, Xbox's upcoming exclusive shooter, CrossfireX, has been delayed until 2021. In a statement on Twitter, developers Smilegate Entertainment state, after much deliberation and in consideration of the challenges faced by the Smilegate team due to COVID-19, we have made the difficult decision to delay the release of CrossfireX to 2021. Moving our release will allow us to deliver the Crossfire experience on console our team set out to create. So they don't have a date in 2021. So they're being, a little lenient, obviously, because they don't want to do what Cyberpunk did and then just keep giving you wrong dates. So
Damn. Shots fired.
As Manny alluded to, yes, I do love first-person shooter games. I don't know a whole lot about this game, but it looks cool. I'm always so skeptical about playing a new first-person shooter because I rate them all to the good days of COD. They all get compared to that immediately, and if they don't even come close to MW2, I'm like, I don't want to play you. Now, the game looks cool. It kind of has a old, Rainbow Six look to it, not Siege. I think it looks more like
Patriots or
Vegas.
Not Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Patriots
So,
is the one I get crap.
The graphics are a little lackluster, but I don't know. I mean, it could be good. It could be fun. It's a shame that, of course, we have another game that is getting delayed. But honestly, with everything that's going on, this is just something we have to expect for now.
So, to add context to CrossfireX and the significance of it, it's actually sort of a reimagining of Crossfire. It's an FPS game that's very similar to CS:GO, or Counter-Strike in general, I should say. And it's actually one of the biggest FPS games in the world based on registered users, because it's like the biggest shooter in Asian markets. Like, it has over 600 million registered accounts. So
Wow.
it's got a huge following there. Um, I think the biggest thing is it's a free to play model. They've said that it was kind of like Valorant in the sense that it made a game easily accessible even for people who don't have great computers was the big thing. So that on top of it being free to play, a lot of people in the East play Crossfire, and it's got a huge following. So they want to try to bring it to the West. But Crossfire X is going to be very different in the sense that it's adding modern twists to the game. It's not just going to have the classic like CS Counter Strike type feel where it's no ADS, there's no sprinting, it's all hip firing and learning shot patterns, things like that. There is going to be modern game modes where it feels like a Call of Duty. It feels like a Rainbow Six. There's ADSing, there's sprinting, there's all these things. So it actually looks really good. I watched a good bit of gameplay and kind of did my homework on it before the show, and it looks really cool. Uh, it is unfortunate that it's only going to be an Xbox, but
Yeah, I do see that, and it's gonna have abilities in a sense. I mean, like, I see this guy is running around invisible with a knife.
Yeah.
So that's actually a game mode type. It's
Oh,
called
okay.
Spectre. So it's like the traditional like search and destroy type game mode, but the attackers are invisible but only have knives.
Interesting.
Interesting. So, like, I mean, eh, like, I'll definitely play it. Obviously, it's like Manny said, it's gonna be, that free to play like game. I'm sure you could probably buy cosmetics, maybe eventually down the line. Who knows? But I don't know. I feel like because I loved Valorant at first, and then I got bored of it, and I feel like that's just gonna be my breaking point for games like this.
I think what's gonna keep, or I think what's gonna give Crossfire a better lifespan is the fact that you can play it different ways. If you like that CS:GO Valorant feel to a game, you have that. If you like the Rainbow Six, the Call of Duties, the more modern feel to a shooter, you have that. So I think it has a little bit of something for everybody, which I think is very unique in a shooter in terms of style of gameplay. That's something we've never really seen a shooter do before. So that on top of it being free to play, I think it can do very well. They announced that it's actually going to have a single player campaign that's being made by Remedy, the people who did Brandon Control. They also did Alan Wake and a bunch of other great narrative driven games. So the development of this game is actually very interesting in the coming months as it gets closer to coming out.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and wrap up with our last story here. This is where things actually matter. Call of Duty Cold War has recently seen a lot of balance changes get implemented in the past week. So we do have a full list to go ahead and go over. And when we say a lot, we mean a lot. And obviously this was expected with it only being out for 1.5 weeks or so. So obviously they're going to have to do balancing. They had the beta, but obviously not everything was in the beta, and they have a bigger group people playing it now, so more data to look at. But let's go ahead and run down this list here. Now, assault rifles, only one got a nerf, and it made me sad. It was the FFAR, also known as the full auto FAMAS, and they increased its recoil, slightly reduced its max damage, and reduced its max damage range, which was annoying because that patch came out while I was in the middle of getting gold for that gun. I was like, wow, this is tough. Gun is still good. I did get gold with it, so it's still very usable, but wow, that recoil was very noticeable. So that was tough. SMGs.
I was just gonna say
Oh,
real
go
quick, the massive nerf to the range to me is kind of crazy because before it had the range,
34%, yep.
but like it makes
Sorry. I'm going.
no, yeah, I was just saying it just makes sense though because it used to have the range of like a DMR in terms of like the damage range. So
Oh yeah, I was crushing with it.
yeah, scaling it back to like where it competes with other ARs makes a lot of sense.
Definitely, especially with how fast its fire rate is. So it was needed. It just made me sad. Another much needed nerf here would be the one and only submachine gun that needed it, the MP5. You unlock it immediately, and guess what? It was way too strong. So they reduced its base effective damage range by 33%. That's huge. That's a big nerf. It needed. People were cross mapping with that thing. They added what they call more character to its initial recoil, so that's really good as well. On top of that, they let's see here. Oh, okay. I guess there was a little bit of an error where I guess during the update, because I think that was a hot fix, and then the update came out and
They
it
accidentally
reverted. It reverted the changes. So the MP5 was good for a short time until they caught it, and then they fixed it again. Tactical rifles, pretty much all of them got a little bit of a touch here. So the M16, they reduced its max damage range by 15%, increased its sprint to fire time, slightly slowed move speed while firing, slightly increased the delay between bursts, rebalanced the fire rate bonuses on barrel attachments, and slightly reduced the effectiveness of laser attachments. I feel like this was a little overkill on the M16 because when I was using it, I didn't feel like it was that strong. But granted, I didn't have all the attachments, so maybe it really was. But I also didn't see people using it. I don't know. Then the AUG, which is also the other 3-round burst rifle, had a max reduced the max range by 20%, so even more than the M16 there.
I haven't
Also
gotten used to it.
I got to use it, and it was much better than the M16, but maybe not anymore. They did increase the sprint to fire time as well. The move speed while firing got slowed. They increased the delay between bursts. Wowzers. They rebalanced the fire rate bonuses on attachments and the effectiveness of laser attachments. Then they have the Type 63, the semi-auto rifle. Slightly increased its fire rate. Okay, good. Probably needed it, and then rebalanced its bonuses from barrel attachments for fire rate. Okay. DMR also slightly increased the fire rate because it's a semi-auto rifle, and then did the same thing with the fire rate for barrel attachments. Okay, so small buffs, but I never actually got to use these weapons. Don't know if they were needed. I don't see anybody using them, so maybe they were.
I would just imagine, seeing the M16 and AUG being able to, at times, even one burst people. I think that's probably a needed change for guns that are single fire. So I think it's probably going to be good to kind of make them a little more viable compared to those 3 burst DMRs.
Definitely. Light machine guns, the one and only M60, had some buffs to it. They improved its movement speed and its max damage range. Sure, no one really uses LMGs, to be honest, unless you camp really hard or you're going for the max camo. I'd never see them. Sniper rifles. Brandon, they did us dirty. All sniper rifles. They adjusted the sprint to fire times to account for early blend or interruption allowed via animation system. The effective sprint to fire time is notably shorter than what is displayed in the gunsmith. We have plans to address the gunsmith readout in the future update. They adjusted the move speed impact when firing to intended values to make each shot feel more powerful. They fine-tuned the barrel attachments that improve idle sway to provide a unique feel on each gun. So
I know it takes a little bit longer from
running and gunning now.
Mhm.
Running and gunning with a sniper rifle is now a bit slower. And that's tough. Sorry to all you quick scopers that like to run, hit, a 3-piece and then quickly sprint to find that 4th or 5th or however many. Well, you better hope that your aim is on point and theirs is not, because you're going to take longer now.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how this will actually play out, because honestly, I do run almost every attachment for aim speed, and then sprinting after
Sprint to
aiming.
fire.
Yeah, sprint to fire. I have all those attachments on, so I'm kind of curious how much different it will actually change it. I think this might make me want to use the Pelington even more now, because the Tundra does shoot much slower. And
Dude, wait until you try the Barrett. It shoots fast, but my lord, that scope time is terrible.
Yeah, I'm definitely not too surprised there. I'll be getting that one relatively soon. I think that's level like 42. I think I'm in the mid to high 30s. Oh, it's 55. Okay, never
Last
mind.
level.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's up there. We'll go ahead and wrap up with the last two gun updates here. So the Magnum, they slightly improved the fire rate and its max damage range, and then improved visibility while firing after the first shot. Honestly, I think this was much needed because I tried the Magnum in beta because I was super happy and I was like, oh, it kills in like 3 shots, which is the same as the other pistols. So why would I use a Magnum? So maybe this will actually be a 2-shot or 1 to the head type weapon finally, like it should be. Shotguns. The Spaz, or the Gallo, is what it's called in this. Finally got the nerf it needed. Reduced damage between ranges from 5.8 meters to 7.7 meters. Thank you. Thank you. I was sick of getting like slapped by these things when I was definitely at a further range and shouldn't be getting slapped by a shotgun. So cool. There were also some changes and modifications to game modes that I'm not really going to go ahead and break down because they're pretty basic, generic. Score streaks, we'll go over just some important ones here. The combat bow got reduced ammo from 5 to 4.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Care package was increased by 200 points. Sentry gun reduced by 200 points. Napalm strike increased by 400. Air patrol decreased by 500. Artillery increased by 500. Unnecessary. Artillery's garbage.
Not great.
Cruise missile increased by 900.
That makes sense.
Honestly, kind of needed because I was running cruise missile. I was getting like 2 to 3 in a good match, and yeah, I mean that's an easy triple kill every time or more. So needed. War Machine increased from 3,500 to 4,000, so 500 increase. Bless up. That War Machine is so annoying.
How about next patch? Give it less ammo.
Yes.
Think of it being
How many shots does it have? 12 plus?
Something like that, like 12 to 16.
Yeah,
like people
stupid.
just spam it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, it's horrible.
Actually annoying. The attack helicopter had a much needed buff. Because honestly, I stopped running it because it was garbage. Probably will put it on again. They did increase it by 500, but they increased its damage per bullet by 25. So that's a 33% increase. 50. Or 50% increase. Math. They did increase its health by 500 as well. I don't really know how many like rockets it was taking, but just call it an extra rocket probably. They increased the duration of the screen shake from its bullet impacts, and then they reduced the amount of time the helicopter will stay in one place before relocating. Good, because I felt like the attack heli was trash.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good now. The VTOL escort was reduced by 500 points, and they increased its turret burst length and reduced its cooldown time. You never see these anyways. Getting to 8,000 points in one match is so hard, unless you actually go off on like a 15 plus kill streak. Same with Chopper Gunner, increased it by 500. That's fine, these were a bit more common to see, and they also reduced the movement on the gun when firing. And then just some minor tweaks. Equipment, Tomahawks you can now throw immediately at the start of the round. Don't really know why it wasn't like that. Probably was an unintentional thing, and then they just changed it. And some stability stuff. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and catch up on all the zombies as well, there's a huge thing for zombies, mainly for glitches and everything. But that's going to go ahead and wrap up our COD story.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff there. I think a lot of needed balance changes, especially with the score streaks. I wouldn't be surprised, like we mentioned, I think last week when we talked about COD, I would not be surprised if we see the care package even get a little more expensive in terms of like points needed.
Yeah, 1,800 to 2,000. Like, sure, that's an extra, 2 kills if you're on a streak. Okay, but might not be enough, depending. We'll have to see. People stopped running them. I don't see care packages ever in my lobby anymore, thankfully.
Really?
Yeah.
Then the change did what it was intended to do, which was lower the usage rate. Yeah, MP5, thank God. The AR, I haven't seen too many yet. I started seeing them a little bit now that people were starting to get prestiges. and that thing does shred. It absolutely shreds.
Mhm.
M16 nerf is tough. I mean, M16 has less range than a lot of ARs, which is kind of weird to think for a tactical rifle.
Yeah,
The AUG makes sense. The AUG was I
it
was
was
starting to
very
see a lot
strong.
of people use the AUG and just absolutely shred. So that's another one that makes sense. All in all, some good adjustments. Uh, the sniper thing, I don't think it won't feel as big of a nerf as people think. I don't know, there are some instances where like people were running around with snipers and using them like an AR in terms of
Oh
like
yeah, I mean
KPS
you're
and
not
doing
wrong,
things.
but for people like Brandon and occasionally myself who want to go for those clips, it is gonna have to make us play a little less sprinty and more of let's take our average
Bob,
walking pace around that
Bob and
corner.
weave, Bob and weave.
I don't know, man. Guns are accurate as hell in this game.
That do be true.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. Brandon, you're gonna hate the Barrett, honestly. I tried it out yesterday. It says it's the most powerful. It has the most like weapon damage. I felt like I was just getting hit markers.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely try it out when I get there. I'm kind of just at the point I'm just sniping it for this game. The sniping feels really good. I'm enjoying it a lot. I like a lot of the nerfs that came through for a lot of the different weapons. I might try out some of the tactical rifles eventually, just to kind of maybe suit my playstyle a little bit better. And yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely a little concerned to see what the sniper rifles change will happen when it comes to quick scoping, and then also just trying to hit clips, because that's all I've been trying to do recently, honestly.
Yeah. And a quick side note for those of you who are playing COD Cold War, Nuketown is coming Tuesday, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah, yeah. That was one thing I had forgotten about. I knew they announced it. I'd forgotten when exactly. I think you're right though. I think it's Tuesday.
Yeah, I want to say it's Tuesday, so 2 days around the corner here on the 24th. That's fun. I love Nuketown. It's annoying as hell sometimes, but new map will finally have 9. We're almost in the double digits.
Almost there. Now, how many unique maps are in the game? 5?
Yeah, probably.
5? 3 of them are just remade into smaller maps.
Yeah, it do be like that though.
It do be. It do be do be do. So, anything else with COD you guys got?
No, I don't have too much. I'm hoping to try Dead Ops Arcade today. I haven't played it yet on this COD. So, if either you want to try that out, we could talk about it next, show or something. If we have some updates, we can bring it up. But yeah, that'll do it for COD.
Awesome. So that is everything we have in this week in gaming for you guys. Before we go, we got a few things for you. One, what we're gonna be up to this week. First of all, every Sunday. So we record the show on Sunday, so it's kind of awkward because it releases on Monday. So I'll just let you guys know every Sunday. Be tuned to twitch.tv/nerdchambers, and then afterwards we always host Brandon on TNC Penguin. We do Pokemon card pack openings and Yu-Gi-Oh card pack openings every Sunday.
Yep, every Sunday. Typically, we do start around 8 p.m. Central Time. Sometimes a little bit later, but not by much. So do stay tuned. Otherwise, of course, you could go onto our Twitch channel and just hit that little notification. That way, you are alerted when we come open for these Pokemon card openings. We do show the redemption codes for the online game. If you ask for it, I'll happily do it. Otherwise, we just vibe out, see what I can get. Today, I'm going to be opening up a Vivid Voltage booster pack along with some other things.
So exciting.
And honestly, don't know what to expect next week. So you'll just have to come and find out.
Twitch.tv/nerdchambers.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good. I'm gonna be
So excited.
making my debut in the card pack opening biz on
I'm so
Tuesday.
excited.
We're hoping for Tuesday. I have a booster box of the new Magic the Gathering set Commander's Legends on its way as we speak. So it's expecting to be here by Monday night, so I'm hoping we can do it on Tuesday. If not, we might have to push it to Wednesday, which is totally fine. But expect that this week, Tuesday or Wednesday. And then the last big thing. Unless, Brandon, do you have anything?
We have 4 pack openings that'll be on YouTube this week.
I just love
Oh
that,
my goodness.
you know, I'm over here and I'm like, I'm going to try opening Pokemon cards again. And then my addiction just starts rising. And then
Yeah.
Brandon,
It rubbed
he's
off.
like at the bottom, and then now his addiction is rising. And Manny, you're at the bottom right now. And don't you worry, you're going to be up here, buddy.
It's going to be crazy because we did one on Saturday night for Magic. We'll have that YouTube video dropping Monday, as well as this recording course. So go check out that video if you're into Magic or card openings. Tuesday we'll have the Pokemon one come out. Thursday we'll have the Yu-Gi-Oh one come out. And then Friday we'll have Manny's Magic the Gathering one come out. I'm going to have a really rough week this week.
It's okay, because you have Thursday off.
We do.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving ahead of time.
Who needs to spend time with family when you have videos to edit?
You got a lot of editing to do.
Yeah, who needs
Brandon
it,
gonna be
you know?
eating turkey at that desk right there alone.
I will be.
I just picture him just like in his robe, just
A few tears just dripping down.
And the
on
best
a
part
turkey
is,
leg.
and the best part is, we have our really big episode we do at end of the month for TNC movie nights, where we watch a movie and then I edit it down of us watching the movie. So I also have to edit that by Wednesday, and we're recording that tomorrow night. It's gonna be a crazy week. Oh,
Brandon
please.
ain't playing games this week.
Please, if you care about my sanity, follow us, support us on all social media at the Nerd Chambers, or if you really just like me, I get it, at TNC Penguin. We're gonna do a lot of streaming. I'm doing my best to try to stream 5 times a week right now. I did it last week. I think I did it the week before, so we're gonna keep it going. We do a lot of different streaming. Manny's got that grind going, but I think that I don't know. My mind is melting right now.
the wheels are churning.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he just came to fruition of everything he has to deal with, and he's like, I hate this.
he's overwhelmed
Crud.
now.
Yep. It's like, I goofed up.
All right, maybe I shouldn't have asked him what's going on. So the last thing we have for you guys, we told you guys we would have more TNC Live in the future to bring to you guys. We're gonna let you know. So TNC Live 73 is going to be coming this week. We're planning on it. It's more than likely going to be Saturday from the looks of it. So we'll say Saturday for now. If not, it might be Friday night. Just keep an eye on our social media. We'll let you guys know everything going on. We're going to be talking about the Game Awards, giving our thoughts or predictions like we've done the last couple of years. So we're really excited. We're going to have a bunch of guys from our entire network of shows coming and talking. And we might have a little special announcement, so be sure to tune in to that on twitch.tv/nerdchambers. Final notes: remember, we do have those 2 Twitch giveaways. 100 follower giveaway for Brandon on twitch.tv/TNC Penguin. He's going to be giving away a Phantom Rage Yu-Gi-Oh booster box. And then twitch.tv/the Nerd Chambers, our main channel, 250 followers. We're giving away a $100 PSN gift card. And don't forget those 2 Spreadshirt sales. Black Friday, 25% off all orders. Cyber Monday, free shipping on all orders as well. Adam, before we go, if they want to keep up with all things TNC, what can they do? Let them know. Let the people know.
Easy peasy. One place. It's all you need to know. In a galaxy far, far away. No. Anyways, nerdchambers.com. TheNerdChambers.com, more specifically. You go ahead, enter that in. Guess what? You get this easy, clean-looking homepage that has links to everything you need. News, shows, shop. Learn a little bit more about us in the Meet the Team. See a picture of what we look like for some of us who you might not watch our show. Like, it's okay. Maybe you're not into Magic the Gathering, but you want to know a little bit more about Eric. Now you're interested in Magic the Gathering because you think, what a cool guy. Otherwise, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Spotify, all those links right there. Easy click of a button. Hit the little star to bookmark that page. You'll never have to worry again.
There you go.
That was beautiful.
Nice, easy. All in one place for you, thenerdchambers.com. That is going to do it for us and This Week in Gaming for November 22nd. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you for listening to the Nerd Chambers. Come back next week for more news you need to know.